There are some places you can visit and quickly forget, but there are other places that stay with you forever. In this video, we are going on a journey across Africa to visit 10 of the most beautiful Catholic churches on the continent. These are not just buildings. They are living hearts of faith, where millions come every year to pray, to cry, to give thanks, and to find strength to keep going. From huge basilicas that look like something out of another world, to quiet cathedrals hidden in busy cities, each one has its own story. Stay with me till the very end, because each place reveals a different side of God's beauty. And by the time we reach number 10, you may never look at churches in Africa the same way again. Watch this video all the way to the last second and let these holy places speak to your soul. Number 1. The Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in Ivory Coast. Imagine driving across wide-open plains in West Africa and suddenly seeing a dome rise out of the horizon, shining in the sun like a crown. That is what happens when you arrive in Yamoussoukro and see the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace. At first glance, it looks like something taken from Rome and placed gently on African soil. White columns stand in long rows. The dome seems to touch the sky. The whole structure glows softly in the morning light. But this basilica is not a copy. It is a dream turned into stone by a young nation that wanted to say something about peace. When it was built, Ivory Coast was trying to find its path. The capital had moved to Yamoussoukro, and the country stood between hope and worry. The leader at the time wanted a church that would speak to future generations, not just his own. He wanted a visible sign that peace is not automatic. It has to be asked for, protected, and prayed over. Day after day, workers came from nearby villages and distant towns. They carried tools, mixed cement, lifted stones, and slowly lifted this massive church into the sky. Today, when pilgrims arrive by bus, car, motorbike, or on foot, the first thing they feel is the size. The inside is filled with light. Stained glass windows tell stories of African saints, missionaries, and everyday believers. The floor reflects colors that move as the sun travels across the sky. People come here to ask for healing, for reconciliation in their families, for jobs in a difficult economy, for peace in neighborhoods that feel tense. The basilica looks grand from the outside, but once you step in, it feels gentle. You do not feel crushed. You feel held. It is beautiful, not only because of its design, but because it holds the hopes of a whole people. As you stand under that great dome and look up, one quiet thought comes to mind. Can a church built in the name of peace help shape a more peaceful future for the nation around it? Number 2, the Uganda Martyrs Shrine in Namugongo, Uganda. At Namugongo, beauty and pain meet on holy ground. When morning light touches the hill and the nearby water, soft mist hangs in the air, and the shrine rises above like a crown made of wood and concrete. The building is shaped in a circular way, almost like a great African hut resting on tall pillars. It is one of the most unique and beautiful Catholic structures in Africa. But what makes it truly powerful is not only the shape, it is the story written into the soil. In the late 19th century, young Christian men were killed here for refusing to deny their faith. They were not generals or kings. They were pages and servants in the royal court. Their choices were made in the shadows, in moments when they could have said, "I give up," and lived. But they did not. Their courage became a seed of faith for a whole nation. For many years, their story spread by word of mouth. Elders told children about fire, loyalty, and deep belief that did not break under pressure. Later, the shrine was built to honor them. Today, when pilgrims walk the path up to the hill, they pass places that remember where the martyrs took their final steps. Every year, especially around their feast, huge crowds come. The fields around Namugongo fill with people from all over Uganda and beyond. Some sleep outside in the open air. Some arrive after long journeys. The shrine becomes a sea of colorful clothing, lifted hands, and burning candles. The air shakes with hymns and drums. It is beautiful because of the design, but it is also beautiful because it shows what happens when faith is stronger than fear. Standing there, looking at the shrine reflected in the water, you feel that this is not just the past. It is a living story that keeps shaping Uganda's identity as the country continues to walk through its own trials, conflicts, and hopes. Number 3. The Shrine of Our Lady of Atlas in Tiberine, Algeria. Some beauty is loud and obvious. Other beauty is quiet, almost shy. The monastery of Our Lady of Atlas in Tiberine belongs to the second kind. It is hidden up in the Atlas Mountains, where the air is clear, the sky feels close, and the land breathes slowly. The buildings are simple. You will not find golden ceilings or giant stained glass, but the peace you feel here is its own kind of beauty. For many years, a small group of Trappist monks lived here. They prayed, worked the land, tended gardens, and cared for their Muslim neighbors. They learned Arabic, listened to local stories, and shared water, seeds, and medicine. The beauty of Tiberine was not in impressive decoration. It was in human friendship that crossed all borders. During the violent years of the 1990s, danger moved closer and closer to their valley. The monks were told many times to leave, to protect themselves, but they chose to stay because they believed their lives were tied to the people around them. One night, armed men came and took 7 of the monks away. Later news came that they had been killed. Their deaths turned this quiet monastery into a powerful symbol. Today, when you walk through Tiberine, you see a small chapel with simple lines, garden with green paths, and a tiny cemetery with 7 white crosses in a straight row. There is nothing flashy, but the place feels full. It is beautiful because it shows a love that did not run away. Visitors come from many countries, some Catholic, some not. They walk slowly, touched by the silence, by the memory of men who thought their call was not to be safe, but to be faithful. In a world that tells us to always put ourselves first, Tiberine stands as a different kind of beauty, beauty born from quiet courage. Number 4, the Shrine of Our Lady of Africa in Algiers, Algeria. If you stand on the cliffs above the Bay of Algiers and look out across the sea, you will see a church holding the line between land and water. This is the Shrine of Our Lady of Africa. Its design is striking, with rounded domes, graceful arches, and a blend of styles that reflect both Europe and North Africa. On clear days, the blue of the sea and the soft colors of the shrine make it look like a painting. Inside, the church is filled with mosaics, soft light, and a statue of Mary that has watched over the city for more than a century. When the shrine was built in the 19th century, the country was under foreign rule and religious communities lived close, but sometimes in tension. Yet this church slowly became a place where lines blurred. Even today, many Muslim visitors come, take off their shoes, and stand in silent respect. On the wall near the statue, there is a short but powerful prayer. Our Lady of Africa, pray for us and for the Muslims. This single sentence captures the heart of the place. Beauty here is not only in stone and glass, it is in the small daily acts of respect between people of different faiths. At sunset, the church seems to float above the city, holding together memories of conflict, hope for peace, and the simple human desire to live side by side without hatred. Many people say that when they pray here, looking out over the sea, they feel a deep calm, as if the whole city is placed in God's hands. Number 5. St. Mary's Cathedral in Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi is fast, loud, and always moving. Cars fill the streets, matatus dart through traffic, and people rush from one place to another. In the middle of all this stands St. Mary's Cathedral, a solid, steady presence that has watched the city grow from a small railway town into one of Africa's biggest capitals. From the outside, the cathedral may not be the tallest building in the city, but there is a quiet beauty in its simple lines and strong walls. Inside, tall windows let in soft light that falls over long rows of wooden pews, polished by the hands and knees of generations. The sound of the city fades, replaced by soft footsteps, quiet whispers, and the murmur of prayer. Students stop in to pray before exams. Workers come at midday to breathe and reset. Families gather on Sundays, with children in bright clothes. Kenya's many cultures, tribes, and languages mix in one place. Over the years, St. Mary's has been more than a church. It has been a meeting place during hard times, a space for national prayer after crises, and a shelter during moments of fear. This is part of its beauty. It is not only a pretty building, it is a pillar in the life of the city. When Nairobi changes again and again, this cathedral stays, holding memories, promises, and the hope that no matter how fast life moves, there's always a place to return, sit, and remember what really matters. Number 6. Holy Family Cathedral in Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos's energy. The streets never really sleep. Traffic threads through the city like a never-ending river. Voices from markets, street music, car horns, and harbor sounds all blend into one loud song. Right in this living storm stands the Holy Family Cathedral, calm and firm. It is not the tallest or the largest structure in Lagos, but it has a quiet authority. The building's design is classical and strong, steady walls and a tower that has watched ships, cars, and people come and go for decades. When you step inside, it feels like walking into another world. The air cools, the noise softens, and your heart rate drops. Light pours through high windows, painting gentle shapes on the stone floor. Rows of benches stretch toward the altar, and the space feels wide but not cold. People come here in waves throughout the day. Some arrive very early, before sunrise, to place the day in God's hands. Others come in the afternoon when the heat feels heavy and the pressure of work is strong. Mothers bring children, businessmen bring briefcases. Elders bring walking sticks, and young people bring questions about their future. The beauty of this cathedral lies in these faces. It is a house where Lagos comes to breathe. Over the years, the cathedral has stood through political changes, economic ups and downs, and times of social unrest. It has seen tears, celebrations, protests, and peaceful vigils. Its walls have heard the whole story of the city. That is why many people feel a deep attachment to it. It is more than a building. It is a constant friend in a city that changes every day. Number 7. St. Joseph's Cathedral in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Dar es Salaam sits by the Indian Ocean, and St. Joseph's Cathedral stands near the water like a guardian of the shore. From the outside, it has a beautiful Gothic style, with a tall spire, pointed arches, and fine details that catch the eye. Palm trees often frame the view, mixing tropical greenery with European-inspired design. The mix makes the church stand out, and yet somehow fit perfectly into the coastal city. When you enter, you feel the high ceiling pulling your gaze upward. Stained glass windows filter the strong coastal sun into colored patterns of blue, red, and gold that move slowly across the stone floor. The smell of the sea sometimes drifts in, mixing with incense and candle wax. You can feel the history in the wooden benches, in the worn steps, and in the quiet way people make the sign of the cross as they enter. St. Joseph's was built when Dar es Salaam was still under colonial rule. It watched ships arrive from Arabia, India, and Europe. It saw the city change names, change rulers, and change size. At different times it has welcomed sailors, traders, new immigrants, and local families searching for a stable point in a changing world. Today, it continues to be a place where students, workers, travelers, and tourists come to rest for a moment. The beauty of this cathedral is not only in its shape and glass, but in the way it holds together many layers of history and calmly points to something higher than all of them. Number 8. St. Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg, South Africa. Johannesburg is a city built on gold and struggle. It has known wealth and deep inequality, hope and fear, dreams and disappointments. In the center of this city stands St. Mary's Cathedral, a church that has walked with the people through some of their hardest times. From the outside, it may look less dramatic than the glass towers around it. But if you look closely, you see a different kind of beauty. The stone walls are strong and weathered. The doors are heavy, as if they have carried many stories. When you step inside, the noise of the city softens into a quiet that feels almost physical. Sunlight shines through tall windows and lands on stone columns, simple yet full of dignity. During the long years of apartheid, St. Mary's was not just a place for mass. It became a space where activists met, where families sought comfort after arrests and violence, and where voices were raised in the name of justice and human dignity. The church hosted prayer services, gatherings, and protests. It allowed those who were pushed to the edges of society to stand together in a place where they were seen and heard. Today, in a new South Africa, the cathedral still plays an important role. Migrants from other countries find in it a place that feels safe and familiar. Young people come with big questions about their lives and their country. Homeless people slip into the back pews to rest in a place where they are not chased away. The beauty of St. Mary's is the beauty of solidarity. It is the beauty of a church that refused to be silent when silence would have been easier. Number 9. Our Lady of the Congo Cathedral in Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of Congo. Kinshasa is one of the liveliest cities in Africa. Music pours out of doorways. Street vendors call out their goods. Traffic moves around in ways that look chaotic but somehow work. In the middle of this intense rhythm stands Our Lady of the Congo Cathedral. From outside, it has clean lines and a large welcoming front. Inside, the space opens wide, with high ceilings and long aisles. The altar is dedicated to Mary under the title, Our Lady of the Congo. This title is important. It shows that the faith here is not a foreign guest. It has taken root in local soil. The cathedral is filled with people who carry heavy stories, miners who work far from home, mothers worried about their children, young people trying to find jobs, elders who have seen war, peace, and war again. When they gather, their voices rise in powerful songs in Lingala, French, and other languages, turning the church into a river of sound and color. On special days, the cathedral is full to the doors. When the wider church looks at Congo, this is often the place it sees. When the Pope visited, he came here to meet priests, religious, and lay people, to listen to their hopes and their pain. But even when there is no camera, the same daily faith continues. People come to confess, to light candles, to ask for peace in regions still wounded by violence. The beauty of this cathedral is in its strength. It is stood in a city that has known poverty, corruption, conflict, and disappointment. And still, it calls people to trust that God has not abandoned them. Number 10. The Basilica of Our Lady of Deliverance in Tunis, Tunisia. Tunis is a city of crossroads. Berber roots, Roman ruins, Arab streets, Ottoman memories, and French traces all meet in one place. In the middle of this layered city stands the Basilica of Our Lady of Deliverance. From the outside, it has towers and arches that clearly feel European. Yet the bright North African light gives them a new character. The building looks like a guest that has lived long enough to become part of the family. When the basilica was built in the 19th century, many Catholic families lived in Tunis, often tied to communities from across the Mediterranean. They filled its pews with their prayers, their fears, and their joys. Over time, many moved away, and the Catholic presence became smaller. But the basilica stayed. Inside, sunlight enters in narrow beams that slowly move across the floor as the day passes. Dust floats in those beams like tiny stars. The silence has a special weight, as if the walls remember voices from many generations. Today, some visitors come simply to see an old building. Others come because they are looking for a place that feels different from the pressure of daily life. The basilica may no longer be full every day, but its beauty has not faded. It now stands as a quiet witness to the fact that identities change not by erasing what came before, but by carrying it forward in a new way. For many people, even those who are not Catholic, it is a reminder that their city has room for many stories, and that true beauty often lies in how we remember and respect them. Across these 10 churches and shrines, one thing becomes clear. Beauty in the church is not only about marble, glass, or size. It is about how a building holds the memory of a people. It is about how it becomes a home for tears, laughter, forgiveness, and new beginnings. From Yamoussoukro's vast basilica to the quiet monastery in the Atlas Mountains, from Namugongo's great crowds to the hidden peace of Tunis, these places draw millions not only because they look amazing, but because hearts feel something there that they cannot find in ordinary life. If this journey through Africa's most beautiful Catholic church has touched you, I invite you to stay connected. Share in the comments which place moved you the most, or which church in your own country feels like home to your heart. Make sure you subscribe so you do not miss the next journey. And share this video with someone who loves faith, history, or travel. Your support helps more people discover these holy places and the stories they carry.